All right, so I want to explain to you how the brushes work. So in this top menu on the right side, the first icon of the paintbrush opens your brush library. Yours may not look like mine because I have added some that did not come with the original application. If you look at these, the top applications that have that little swipe mark next to them, those were all things I have bought from a third-party vendor and downloaded. Yours will look something like this when you open it up. You will see from sketching all the way down to water. These are the built-in brushes in your iPad, or sorry, in Procreate. And so basically what you do is you click on the brush and then you choose, if you will, the pencil or the pen or the brush you're going to use. So for example, if you want to do watercolor, I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom of the library. I'm going to click on water, and then I can choose from all of these built-in water pieces here. Yours will not have these top two. So for example, this is the wash, a wet glaze, a sponge, and each of these do different things. So I'm going to go up here and choose a color that's not an icky gray. Let's move this over to, let's just get a nice blue here. Okay. And I'm using my pencil to move all of those. So now in that circle where it's blue, that's the color I'm going to use. Let me click on the brush, and I'm going to go down to my wash. All right, and I just want to see that I'm on the first layer, which had a dress in it, but I deleted it. And now, using this, I can take my brush, and now I'm painting. All right. On the side menus over here, you can control the opacity of the brush, and you can control the size of the brush. So if I move the size down, I've got the same opacity, but a different width brush. If I move this all the way up to the top, now I've got a different opacity and, in this case, size. All right. To get rid of that, I can click the screen twice with my fingers, as I just did, or I can hit the back button. All right. If I go up here to wet sponge, I'm going to get a different kind of painting. So any of these will give you options. So let me go down here to inking, and I'm going to take the technical pen. I'm going to change this to black, and now you'll see I am writing on there with what looks like just a regular pencil. Now, also built in are something called stamps, which are, in this particular case, a stamp is what it sounds like. When you put your stylus on the screen, it's going to put one thing there, right? So it's not going to be continuous, it's going to be a stamp. And I have purchased from an off-site vendor some body poses that I use as my maquettes. So here I've gone and clicked on body poses, and then I'm going to choose this number 8, and when I exit out of that and I take my stylus and I put it on the screen, it gives me that body. If I do it again, it does it again. And now I have 3 bodies on that layer. So that's the difference between a brush and a stamp. If I want to make this maquette larger, I can hit the resize button, and now I can make this bigger. Okay, so that's the difference between, let me clear this layer here. Now, also in this layer, in this menu, we will have brushes that give us patterns. So for example, if I go to textures and I've got this decimals, which I often use for polka dots, When I go back to my screen and I make my movement with my stylus, you'll see that it gives me a texture or a pattern, right? So if I go back here to the same screen and I choose this Victorian, and you see how it kind of fills it in. So again, I've chosen the Victorian texture, and I'm going to start up here and I'm going to make my pencil line, but when I put it right next to it, you'll see how it kind of fills in the pattern as it should be. So this is not a stamp, but this is a brush, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and just undo that here. Whoops. All right, and so a lot of these that are built in here are not necessarily single pencil lines, but they are some kind of pattern, and these are what I use to give texture to my drawing. So I might have a skirt and I might want to put some texture on it, so I go here to Driven Snow and then I run it over it and I get a nice little texture on it. I often do this when I want to put it in backgrounds. So that's what this first brush library does. It will give you access to either the brushes or the pens or the stamps or the textures that are built in to Procreate, or if on your own iPad you want to download things. And then to change the color of any of those, just go up here. Before you do it, choose your new color, and it will put them on whatever color you've chosen. So that's what will happen when you use items in the brush library.